Have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. My name is Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Bill Lambier of podcasting, a.k.a. the Jake LaMotta of podcasting, a.k.a. the Gringo Mandingo. I am here with the three-time co-host of the year, G. Moody, whose last name rhymes with duty.
Yep.
G. Monetti, always ready. We have a special guest rocking with us on today's podcast. Heaven is a basketball podcast, and we have a guy who loves to talk basketball, loves it. I love this dude. Former assistant coach of the Miami Heat during the entire LeBron James Miami Heatles era. Former head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, basketball head. My man, David Fizdale, is rocking with us. Hard Body Karate. Love Me Long Time podcast. We're rocking for like an hour and 15 minutes. All basketball. So many Miami Heat stories. So many D. Wade stories. Just Heaven is a basketball podcast. Coming up later on with the great, the passionate David Fizdale. He's not going to rook me. He ain't going to rook me. You remember his rant, Monetti? Last year when he was with the Grizzlies, when they lost to the San Antonio Spurs. He sort of took on national attention with that rant because he went off about Popovich and not having pedigree and how the refs aren't going to rook him. This is a dope interview with David Fizdale. Okay. So it's coming up later on.
Did he tell you about did he prove to you that LeBron is the best ever?
Excuse me?
Did he prove to you through the stories that LeBron is indeed the best player?
I'll be honest. There's so many damn good LeBron James stories coming up with David Fizdale that it definitely softened me.
Oh, okay.
It softened me. He breaks it down. Yo, he was with him through the trade. You know, when the decision, he was already with the Miami Heat. He was there before he was with the Heat. And when he left after the Spurs dismantled the Miami Heat. So he's got all that information. And yes, there's great LeBron James stories. I don't know why you're trying to throw that. We just started the show, G.
All right.
We just started the show. Anyway, Miles, Jordan, let me get something funky to start this puppy off. All right. Monetti.
What's good?
Listen, as I said earlier, this David Fizdale interview is fantastic. I think that we're gonna do some sick fucks of the week because I got some really upsetting sick fucks. Some crazy things are happening with the sick fucks across the country. Some very dog unfriendly skies incidents happened. Something very disturbing. The NFL, you know what's crazy?
What's up?
With today, with Twitter and Instagram and social media and phones and all that stuff, you're able to keep up with the NFL free agents, and the trades and all that stuff. But I can't imagine 20 years ago, the NFL season would start and your quarterback wouldn't be on the team. If I didn't have access to phones and social media, I wouldn't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
There were so many trades and pickups just in the last 48 hours with the NFL. It's hard to keep track. Danny Amendola is gone. He's no longer a Patriot. He's out.
He bounced.
He's done. Them hoes ain't loyal. The Patriots don't give a shit. The Patriots don't care that Amendola stepped up last year when friend of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, Julian Edelman, was down and out, and Amendola came in there, kicked ass all season long. He's gone, which I think is a good thing because our guy, Julian Edelman, who's recovering from a terrible injury, I think maybe they know that he's going to come back and be the guy. The Green Bay Packers, you never would have thought you lived to see a day that Jordy Nelson gone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Ain't no love. It's a business. Goodbye.
It's a business.
Yeah.
Malcolm Butler the disgruntled cornerback from the Patriots. We knew this was going.
Right.
Gone.
Good for him.
He's with the Tennessee Titans. Jonathan Stewart, former Carolina Panther. Bye-bye. He's with the Giants.
Yeah.
I don't know why the Giants didn't pick up D'Angelo Williams, our friend here, former Pittsburgh Steelers, still available, still in shape. I don't know why he's not playing in the NFL. Jimmy Graham, former all-everything tight end from the New Orleans Saints and then Seattle. Now he's with the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Hey, they're shuffling. This is that time of year, man.
But it's crazy. Like, the Jets picked up Josh the Helicopter McCown, who kicked ass last year.
Yeah.
I will say this. In the beginning of the season, I thought that was a joke. But Josh the Helicopter McCown, they re-signed him, and he deserved it. He obviously went down with that injury at the end of the season, very emotional. And I'm glad if they can't. And they got Teddy Bridgewater's coming to the Jets. Kirk Cousins, you like that?
You like that?
You like that?
I like that.
He signed with the Vikings.
Oh, good. He got the only guaranteed contract in NFL history. Good for my man Kirk. He's going to get all that money. So that's good.
Yeah, and it's good. It'll set the precedent for other quarterbacks. Sam Bradford, Sammy B is on the cut. He signed with the Cardinals. It's just, there's so much happened. It's just like, I'm like, whoa. Like, you saw Drew Brees, of course, re-signed with the Saints. I think they gave him $50 million, which he deserves, of course.
He deserves more.
Yeah, then we got training camp, then we got preseason, and then next thing you know, senior fantasy football analyst, executive senior fantasy football analyst, Michael Rapaport is back doing his thing. It's March, but it's going to happen like that. Before you know it, there's going to be a new season of Hard Knocks on HBO, and then we'll be playing fantasy football. So pay attention, because some of your favorite players might not be on your team the next time you look up, football fans. I want to give a shout out to all the students, including my two kids, my two young sons who participated in the walkout, the nationwide school walkout of all these kids across the country. We're not going to school. We don't want to be victims of senseless shootings in our schools. Us, the adults, us, the politicians, the grown-ups, we haven't been able to figure it out. So the kids now are not being able to enjoy being teenagers. They're out in the streets protesting. They're out in the streets educating themselves. I'm sure a lot of these kids are enjoying just a day off, but the bulk of what you're seeing across the country are kids doing things that they shouldn't have to do, because us as adults haven't been able to figure out how to make particularly these public schools safe for kids so they don't get shot and mowed the fuck down with assault rifles. I never would have thought you'd see 15, 16, 17-year-old kids having to articulate themselves out of fear of being mowed down by guns in school. It's really sad to me. It's really sad. Like, I'm proud of these kids, but it's sad to me. They should be, texting. They should be running around. They should be sneaking in the back alley, giving each other hickeys on their necks. They should be playing basketball. They should be doing, all sorts of things that teenage kids do. They shouldn't have to figure out what's going on, with lawmakers and gun advocates and what's not going on with them, and have to do a nationwide school walkout. So on one hand, I think it's good. On the other hand, it's really a sad day to me. Like, it's a sad thing to me that this is where we are in the country, that this can't be figured out. That young kids think about that shit. Like, I remember what it was like to be 15, 16. Now, I'm going to be honest, and Moody, you could attest to this. We didn't go to school that much in 1986. The 10th grade, I think I missed 60 days one semester.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But we weren't doing things like this. We weren't doing positive things. We were just playing hooky. We would literally, when we were at Erasmus Hall in 1986, 87, as I've mentioned before, Erasmus Hall was considered by the New York Daily News the worst public school in New York City. Me and Mr. Moody would meet in the morning. Sometimes I would sleep over at his apartment. in Brooklyn. Sometimes he would sleep over at my apartment in Money Making Manhattan. And we would act like we were going to school. We'd go to the train station, go get some Hostess cupcakes, and then come back home.
Yeah.
Real pieces of shit. Real productive pieces of shit.
But this whole shit, man, it's very simple. I think metal detectors in the school, it's unfortunate, but you have to do that. You're not getting these guns away from these people. It's going to take too long. The legislation is not going to be right now, but metal detectors can be implemented in the school, and that will take that threat away immediately.
To me, it's just crazy that it's come to this, man.
Yeah.
That it's come to see these young kids, I mean, literal teenagers, 15, 16, 10th graders, 9th graders out there talking.
Right.
This shouldn't even be something that, they're paying attention to. All different races, all different colors, from all different schools, nationwide walkout. Mm-hmm. This is a historic day. So good for those kids. But like I said, I feel embarrassed and sad that this is where we are at in America, that we can't figure it out so people can make a few extra bucks,
right?
To appease these gun people. It's embarrassing.
Hell yeah. You was talking about how great Serena and Venus was on the last episode. I was thinking, you know what? To even it up for the rest of their opponents, they should just put their rackets down and play the girls without their fucking rackets. Give them a chance.
Yo, as far as doubles is concerned, literally, the Williams sisters could play well into their 40s and compete at a high level in women's doubles. Yeah. They're that good. They're that physically gifted. At this point, they have such an understanding of the game and the intimidation factor. It's like they're so iconic.
Right.
Like to go out there, like if you're 20, like, the Williams sisters are 38, 37, as they'll be in a few years. They're not there yet. I know you might be listening, Serena and Venus. I'm just saying you guys can play. Imagine them at 40. They'll be able to kick ass in doubles.
Yeah, without the rackets. Fuck it.
23 years ago today, Tupac, the man that the quote-unquote non-rapping rapper Lil Xan, who we Willie Hutched. Matter of fact, Miles Jordan, let me get that Willie Hutch.
Little junkie.
I'm not going to Willie Hutch him. Just let me keep this underneath it, because I just love hearing it. And I love that the people get so hyped when we hear that Willie Hutch comes in. There it is right there. 23 years ago today, Tupac dropped classic Me Against the World. And there's been so much Tupac talk. There was a whole Twitter thing. Mm-hmm. And my name was brought up in it. And other people from this Lil Xan shit.
What they said.
Why do young rappers hate Tupac? And I'm like, why? Do? See, this is that fake news shit. Why do you acknowledge that? Well, why do you try to make that into a thing?
Right. And do we know if that's true?
It's not true. A couple of people have said things because, now it's like if you say something about them, you might get some recognition. Yo, if you want recognition as a rapper, why don't you just kick some flavor?
Yeah.
Why are you talking about Tupac? You're never going to be on that level of Tupac. If you want recognition, why are you talking about Tupac? Why don't you just go on Funk Flex or go with Sway and freestyle? Then you'll get some recognition.
Yeah.
And this whole mumble rap thing, the reason why they mumble, right? Do you know the reason why they mumble? It's not because they're high out of their fucking mind on syrup and pills. The reason why they're mumbling is to try to disguise and hide the fact that they're not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know that, right? That's why they're like, they might say a sentence that you can understand, and then it's like, that's like the in-between. Whereas like Method Man used to, they go, they'll do like a whole half a verse, and they'll mumble it, because they don't want you to hear that they're saying absolutely, positively nothing.
Damn.
Anyway,
that's what it came to? Oh, my God.
That's what it came to. That's why they mumble, because they're not saying shit. The good rappers, even the good rappers of today, the J. Coles, the Kendrick Lamar, they're not mumbling.
Damn, that's what, this art form is in trouble, man. It's in trouble.
Yo, why would you mumble if you're proud of what you're saying? Why would you mumble if you're proud of your lyrics?
If you got talent, I would want the crowd to hear me say fly shit. Like I want you to hear it. man, it's terrible that it's come to that. It's terrible. It's in trouble. It's in trouble.
Speaking of non-mumble rappers, the late, great Sean Price, Brownsville MC, the epitome of a New York MC, the epitome of a New York rapper, and Illa G, Brooklyn, Brownsville, both MCs, both enunciates their words.
Yeah.
Both will slow down their words. Both can drop the music out of their tracks so you hear their words. They're dropping a 7-song EP on Friday the 16th, Duck Down Records. You know what the name of the record is?
Nah.
Metal Detectors.
Exactly.
That's so Sean Price. Sean Price is better than your favorite rapper, and the God has passed on over a year ago.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying any disrespect because I know he would have that sense of humor. Yo, I'm shitting on you from the grave. That's like a Sean Price lyric.
Yeah.
So they're dropping an EP, Illa G, and the late, great Sean Price, Metal Detectors. It's coming out the 16th, March 16th, Duck Down Records. Give a shout out to Illa G, Sean Price, Bernadette Price, his beautiful daughter, little Sean P., and all things Duck Down, Drew Ha, and all that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear. I heard some of it, and it's that smacker rap. It's that I'll smack your father in front of you rap. It's that Brownsville talk. So that'll be dropping in a couple of days. Metal Detectors, Duck Down music. I'm sure it'll be all over the internet.
And in the future, don't do a disservice to our guys comparing them to these little drug addicts, man. These little junkie motherfuckers, man. Yo, don't do that. These guys are in their own lane. Let them do their drugs. Let them pill pop. Let them mumble their words. They won't be around figuratively and literally.
My girl, Kellyanne Conway, I said this a couple of weeks ago. You can say what you want to say about cockeyed Kellyanne Conway, but I even acknowledged her here a couple episodes ago, and I said she is the epitome of a ride or die chick. She is the epitome of a gangster bitch. Say it ain't so, Kellyanne Conway. You cockeyed fuck you. Apparently, she spent tens of thousands of dollars, tax-paying dollars, tens of thousands of tax-paying dollars on private flights. Say it ain't so, Kellyanne Conway. Are you the next to leave the White House?
Wow.
I mean, she is a fucking ragamuffin, man. She is a fucking ragamuffin, but she is ride or die. I mean, she, in my opinion, has suffered the most since Trump took over the White House. I mean, she was never winning any beauty contests, but she just looks fucking tired and torn down. Say it ain't so, Kellyanne Conway. And motherfucking Ben Carson. Crazy Ben Carson. This motherfucker also. All these people, they use.
That's crazy.
They use the people's money. This guy tried to buy a $31,000 dining room set with your money, Monetti.
No.
So yes.
No.
Yes. Your guy, Ben Carson, Housing and Urban Development Secretary. Disco Ben Carson. He said he was surprised as anyone that he learned that his staff had ordered a $31,000 dining room set. Yo, Ben, you're not that dude, Duke.
Yeah.
Them days are over. You trying to pull that shit over the wall. And you could blame your guy, Trump. He wanted to drain the swamp. Well, his people are in the fucking swamp. Ben's like, what the fuck am I supposed to have in a dining room? A folding chair? He tried to get some fly shit from Bed Bath & Beyond. He tried to get some fly shit from William and Sonoma or one of these nice places. And they said, nah, Duke, you need to go to Walmart, get yourself 6 folding chairs and a barbecue. You're not having no fancy shit.
Oh, man.
You're a government official. This isn't a high-paying job. You're there serving the country.
Hey.
These guys think they're celebrities, think they're stars. Disco Ben Carson. The fuck is you doing? Kellyanne Conway, yo, you checking in to coach like everybody else. You're not flying private. Cockeyed Kelly, and they're shutting all that shit down.
I got one rebuttal. You guys are like the National Enquirer.
This is facts.
The country is in great shape. You don't care about none of the policies. You care about the trivial bullshit. The country is in great shape. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. That's what I care about. You care about a dining room table. Before it was the cheeseburgers, but it's never any policies. It's never that.
I'm just letting you know
you're the National Enquirer of the podcast.
Yo, your man Disco Ben Carson is out here spending your money, Duke.
Hey, Dow
He's
Jones
spending
look
your
good,
money.
brother.
Kellyanne Conway thinks she's Beyonce. You're not Beyonce. You're not Katy Perry. You're not flying private. You ain't on fucking tour.
The tax.
You get on Delta Coach just like everybody else, and if you're lucky, you got TSA clearance. Cause your man Jared Kushner, he don't even have that TSA clearance. You see what else happened with your guy, Dick Stain Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's purging.
He threw one of his huh?
He's purging the bullshit guys. They gotta go. This is how
But he hired them.
Hey, you hire some people, and they find out they're assholes. You get them out of there.
He got rid of one of his personal aides. This 27-year-old former University of Connecticut.
Yeah. He didn't think he was going to win the presidency. He won. And now it's like, oh, shit. But the country's in great shape. Give him credit. It didn't unravel. You chicken little ass motherfuckers think the sky was falling. It didn't fall. The country's in great shape. You care about bullshit. You don't have nothing about policies. It's about what he's wearing.
I just want to report the news. Why did he throw his man John McEntee out of the White House? My man couldn't even get his fucking jacket. They escorted him all off the White House grounds. They didn't even let my man get his jacket. He can't get his jacket?
Hey,
that's all I'm asking. My man, it's March in D.C. It's cold. Let my man get his fucking jacket.
Nah. Where's Donald Trump from? If you was in the position, you wouldn't let Money get his jacket either. Yo, get the fuck off out the Rose Garden, B.
All right, let's get to it. Miles Jordan, let me get the sick fuck of the week music. This award is earned, not given. It's called the sick fuck of the week. This guy's really sick. Lock him up. How could you do it? Don't let him out. Damn. You fucked the dog? You what? You fucked the dog? Why would you fuck the dog? Why would you fuck your girlfriend's dog? What? Sick fuck. The sick fuck of the week. It's earned. Earned, not given. You did what? No! There it is right there. This is an award that is earned, not given. I know there are new listeners. The sick fuck of the week is an award that is earned, not given. This one is really, really, really upset. United Airlines, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, man.
What are you doing? I don't know why these flight attendants, these stewardess and stewards, they think they're like police officers and they're just making up rules as they go along, kicking people off the plane. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
A woman was flying from Houston to New York. A flight attendant, again, a flight attendant.
Right.
It's just a person with a job that works on an airline, ordered the passenger to store her dog in the carrier. You know, the overhead thing.
Damn.
Apparently the dog was barking. It doesn't make a difference. Yo, you a flight attendant. You ain't a fucking cop. You don't get to just make up all these rules.
I wouldn't
A little puppy, a 10-month-old puppy, they put it in the overhead where you put your luggage.
I wouldn't put my dog up there.
I would have been like, yo, man, suck my fucking dick. You get in the overhead compartment.
Yeah.
The fuck you talking about? I ain't put my puppy up there. I got clearance. I got the paperwork. You get in the fucking overhead compartment. Put some headphones on, bitch.
Yeah. That was her fault for actually, if you cared about your dog, there's no way I'm going to put the dog up there, man. I'm not doing that. I'm going to get off the plane. Fuck it.
Yo, land this motherfucking plane. I'm not putting up the little puppy.
Word.
The little French bulldog. This is terrible, man.
Yeah.
This is terrible,
That's
man.
bad.
When the plane landed, the dog was found dead in the bag. There's nothing funny about this.
Nah, hell no.
I hope they sue the shit at United Airlines. I hope they sue the shit out of the flight attendant who made this, on-the-fly decision because she was in a bad mood, annoyed, or whatever, didn't like the barking. Put some motherfucking Bose headphones on and go about your business. You're not a cop.
Man.
You're not a veterinarian. You put the dog in the thing overhead compartment where you put your knapsack, your sneakers, and all that shit.
Yeah. And then,
the dog's going to be okay. Nah, the dog wasn't okay. We're suing everybody.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Imagine you get on a plane and this happens to your little puppy.
And people love their dogs, man. That's traumatic. That's terrible. It's a tragedy, man.
Woo. United Airlines, you are the sick fucks of the week. Congratulations. And a lot of people called for this one. I got a lot of DMs, a lot of people on Twitter. They saw it. I saw it. I appreciate all sick fucks are good sick fucks. Send them our way. This is really nuts, this next one I got in Idaho. This guy's nuts. A junior high science teacher in Preston, Idaho. I mean, I can't even imagine what kind of plethora of sick fucks they have out there. Is being investigated after he fed a puppy to a giant snapping turtle in front of students.
Oh. And you talk about the Koreans.
Yo, what's going on that a teacher thinks this is okay to do this in front of students?
Man.
Where do these people, that's what I'm saying, it's like, they're just making up all sorts of rules on the fly.
That is fucking, I mean, that's traumatic too. Like, and the dog died, right? Or he got bit up.
Of course the fucking dog died.
Oh.
And if you look up a picture of this sick fuck, his name is Robert Crossland, a junior high science teacher in Preston, Ohio. You know what he looks like, Gerald?
What?
A sick fuck.
Of course. Of course.
Third sick fuck of the week. And I'm going to be honest, I'm editing them because there's so many of them. We're just going to have to hold some of these for next week. I couldn't even keep up. I don't know what happened in the last, 6 or 7 days. So many sick fucks. I can't even do them all in this episode. I really can't. I mean, I could have just ended the sick fuck of the week segment after the dog dying on the United flight situation.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep going because
right.
I got to give the people what they want. Mm-hmm. A fourth grade teacher. There's nothing funny about this either. This is another thing. This is a teacher, an elementary school teacher in Indiana. You know what he looks like? His name is Joe Kimmier. You look up a picture of Joe Kimmier. Gerald, do you know what he looks like?
What?
A sick fuck. This animal who's going to wind up getting arrested, wind up going to jail, and wind up being the victim of sexual assault in prison with the Wonder Bread bag and possibly without the Wonder Bread bag for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
A fourth grade teacher in Amelia Earhart Elementary School in Lafayette, Indiana, was arrested on a slew of charges after he turned baseball lessons with a bunch of young, underage 14-year-old boys into masturbation sessions.
Oh.
This is a sick piece of shit. Joe Kimmier, you dog, you animal.
Yeah. Sick.
No olive oil.
Pedophile.
You're going to be sexually violated with red Kool-Aid lipstick the rest of your life.
Pedophile. Damn. Man, I don't know what to say. I mean, he should be stoned.
Why do we have to pay for him to be imprisoned?
Yeah.
End him. If they find out this is real and he did this to all these children, just end him.
Yeah.
There's no rehabilitation. And why do you put somebody like this in prison for the rest of their life?
Stone.
People will think twice if they're like, yo, you can't get away with it. You'll still have people doing dumb shit. You want to use those AR guns? Use it for this type of lunatic. Just get rid of this person. You could do it publicly, not publicly. There's no reason for a person like that to live. Imagine that at a baseball practice he does that. Finally, a really sick fuck in New Delhi, India. A doctor. 2 doctors were suspended. Okay? They were having surgery. He had a bus accident. One of his legs had to be severed. Instead of getting rid of the leg properly and continuing on with the surgery, you know what these sick fucking doctors did, Mr. Moody?
What? I want to hear this.
They took the man's leg that he lost in the accident, tucked it under his head, and used it as a fucking pillow. You sick fucks, you. These are doctors?
Oh, it's not first-class healthcare out there. They probably had the operation in a motherfucking pool.
Hey, put a sweatshirt underneath his head. They use his leg, his severed leg, to prop his head up.
Hey,
I'm going to give you one more.
Give me one.
I'm going to give you one more. And listen, all you people out there that are freaking off on these social media sites, I don't know what you're into, Tinder, Grindr, whatever you're into, straight, not straight, pay attention to what you're doing, okay? A 21-year-old man was arrested, okay? Two men, they met on one of these social media sites in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, near Marcus Garvey Boulevard. You're well aware where this is, G. Monetti. Willoughby Avenue and Marcus Garvey.
Oh, Bed-Stuy.
They met up for a little rendezvous. They met on social media. They were about to have their thing and freak off. The 21-year-old suspect beat the 60-year-old man in the head with a dumbbell after rejecting his sexual advances when they finally met. Shit ain't sweet, okay? You think you're going there, you got a love connection, you're going to freak off, you're going to get in and out. Shit isn't sweet. It ain't all that it's cracked up to be. Watch yourself in these streets. That was another award-winning Sick Fuck of the Week segment. Let's get to it. Miles Jordan, let me get this little intro, okay? Coming up next, I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. So much basketball talk. I couldn't even contain myself. Monetti, I got to tell you something. We literally could have kept going for 3 hours. David Fizdale loves fucking basketball. He loves to talk about basketball, and he speaks about it in layman's terms.
Yeah, I see him on TV.
Play the good chunk of his now infamous "You're Not Gonna Rook Me" rant. Miles Jordan, give him a little beat. And coming up next on the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, the great, the funny, the passionate David Fizdale. Let's go, Coach.
Peace.
First half, we shot 19 points, 19 shots in the paint, and we had 6 free throws. They shot 11 times in the paint, and they had 23 free throws. I'm not a numbers guy, but that doesn't seem to add up. Overall, 35 times we shot the ball in the paint. We had 15 free throws for the game. They shot 18 times in the paint and had 32 free throws. Kawhi shot more free throws than our whole team. Explain it to me. We don't get the respect that these guys deserve because Mike Conley doesn't go crazy. He has class, and he just plays the game. But I'm not going to let them treat us that way. You know, I know Pop's got pedigree, and I'm a young rookie, but they're not going to rook us. That's unacceptable. That was unprofessional. My guys dug in that game and earned the right to be in that game, and they did not even give us a chance. Take that for data.
All right. This is it. This is it. This is it. I'm declaring this a classic before my guy even says a word.
Man, that's a lot of pressure.
I know this is going to be a classic. Okay? He's not going to rook me. He's coming in here. I know the other podcasts have pedigree, but you're not going to rook me. I'm here with David Fizdale, the coach.
My man.
Who, I mean, when you were with Miami, everybody sort of was watching that team, and you were the guy that the players would either come to the bench and start arguing with you, you'd start arguing with them. Before or during or split, they'd go to Spolestra.
Yep.
They'd come see Coach Fizdale.
Yeah, I was kind of the buffer. If I could save Spo's voice and try to handle a lot of the stuff for him, it was that was kind of my role with the team, that I had to step in there and kind of play mediator a lot. And sometimes I had to speak Spo to them, and I had to speak players to Spo. So it was a good experience for me. It made it fun, and obviously the people I got to be around was amazing. I'm
sure we're gonna get to them, and I everything is above board. I'll say it to your face. I say it to all their face. The Miami Heat, going back to the Knicks Miami Heat, to your Miami Heatles, I'm never going to love that team. I appreciate all the greatness. I appreciate the Ronnie Cycli, the Alonzo Mournings, the Tim Hardaways.
You know your history, brother.
All the guys, but it's never going to be a love fest. I just make sure that people don't go, oh, you trying to front like you're a Miami Heat fan.
No. I know that, right? As soon as the day I met you, I knew there was no way you could be a Heat fan. As soon as I heard you talk, I knew that you couldn't be a Heat fan because you're like my wife said when she met you, you are way New York.
Totally New York.
All New York.
And you know, people think that for Knicks fans, me in particular, that, you know, we just started hating when LeBron and them came. But I'm like, yo, this goes back.
That's deep hate.
Yeah,
That's Pat Riley leaving for Miami.
Yeah, but before Pat went there, because Pat taught us how to hate the Miami Heat.
That's true.
All right, so the first thing I had to ask you about, because I think when you became sort of a national attention was obviously last year during the playoffs with the rant that I just quoted, where I was like, I love this dude. Memphis Grizzlies are playing the Spurs. Whatever you felt that you guys weren't getting calls. You know, you're speaking, and in this social media age, it becomes
viral.
I mean, crazy viral.
Was not expecting any of that.
You're just talking.
Yeah, I'm fighting for my team. I'm desperate. You know, I felt like, you know, there were some calls I should have got there. You know, it doesn't feel comfortable to be down 0-2 to a pop coach team. So, you know, I was letting all my chips hit the table. And, you know, obviously I got a little organized because I went through the numbers. I never cursed.
You didn't curse?
I didn't curse. I did raise my voice, obviously. But I didn't think it was going to go viral. And my wife was on the way to the airport. And she's on social media. She's into it. And she hits me up and she goes, "What did you just do?" And I go, "Uh-oh." And so I guess it just took off from there.
So what were the ramifications of that? Because now you're right now, currently, at least for the time being throughout this season, you're part of the media.
Yeah.
You're working on ESPN. You're calling, you're doing the jump. You do pregame. Are you going to cover games during the playoffs?
Yeah, we've talked about some stuff. ESPN has been really good to me and letting me do some stuff with them. And the playoffs is definitely something that we discuss.
So before, and I'm announcing it, at some point, at some place, before you get your next coaching job, because you're meant to coach, you look like, how old are you?
43.
43. Okay, so you like, the little stint in Memphis, whatever it was, there's more coaching. We didn't take it this far.
No, I got a lot more left in me, that's for sure. Yeah.
So now that you're part of the media and you know sort of what that's like, you've interviewed people, you have to speak on stuff, and then when you're doing like the rant in Memphis, the in between the lines of the rant of don't rook us, Zach didn't go to the free throw line. Kawhi went to the free throw line. I know the rant pretty good. I'm gonna do a dramatic reading of it later. I'm gonna do the the implications. And Miami has had this for years. The implications is the refs aren't giving us the calls, and you're not the pedigree. Like, what is that? Like when fans say these games are fixed, or Steph's wife, she spoke out about it. I mean, it happens all the time. Like the Miami Heat. Dallas Mavericks series is probably the most sort of famous one because it's been scrutinized, and Mark Cuban got fined out of his ass for it.
You gotta. I think it just comes from when you feel like you're dealing with injustice, and if you have that gene inside of you that you don't do well when you feel like someone's presenting you with an injustice, you react. And, it seems like a lot of the people who are at the top and in the great organizations that have fought tooth and nail to get just to hold that trophy, you'll do anything. I mean,
right.
You got to be kidding me. I'll give up a pinky toe to hold that trophy again. And so, when it comes down to it, man, when you feel like you maybe not getting the calls or you getting the respect that you warrant, you got to go off, and that's what it is.
But do you think it's like, I mean, like for fans, like to keep people so, like, do you think it's like, well, Popovich is a star, there's star quality, you're a rookie coach, like they could get away with this?
I think in any industry there's a human condition. People are people, and I know these officials aren't robots,
right.
And they're gonna be influenced one way or another by certain things. It doesn't make them bad officials; it just makes them human beings. Did I lean on that a little bit to try to get things to work my way? Absolutely. I tried to work on the psychology of it and maybe get a couple calls to go my way. But, that's just the human condition. It's in every sport. If Bill Belichick is going off on a ref in football, he's probably going to get a little more leverage to do that than a young guy who's just getting his first shot. That's just how it works.
Right.
And that's part of the deal. But at the same time, it doesn't mean I can't point it out when I'm getting my ass kicked.
Right. And you got to do something.
Right.
The players obviously knew you, but the response from the city of Memphis and the fans, I think you got a standing ovation.
It was unbelievable, man. It was. I never expected that. That was the part I didn't anticipate. Yeah, my first year, and it was electric, man. I walked into the building. It was before they did any of the announcements, and the place erupted, man. It was like I had goosebumps, and I was like, "There's no way we're losing this game. Like, we just can't lose this game." And luckily, the guys stepped up, man, and we tied that thing up 2-2.
All right, so whatever happened in Memphis, I don't care. I know you're coaching again. The question I have for you is, early in this season, 2017, the beginning of 2018 season, 2017, you get fired from Memphis.
Yep.
Which was so early in the season, which is crazy for any coach to happen. It's crazy for a young coach who was sort of, under Pat Riley and sort of has the pedigree, to have this happen. How did you sort of turn off? Like, how long did it take for you to sort of because there must have been a shock.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to go like, oh shit, like I've busted my ass for this many years and it's happening. It's not only happening, this is bullshit. This is some bullshit. Like, it's not like I'm getting fired at the end of the year. We've sucked for 4 years. Yeah. I'm not meant to be a coach.
Right.
Like, how do you turn the muscle off?
It was definitely a outer body experience for me, because you got to think I probably have been coaching 21 years of my life straight through, never out of work, never not working, always doing something. And it took me 14 months to lose my job. So, I would say one is humbling as hell. Whether you want to blame other people or however you want to look at it, it's humbling. And it's nothing wrong with being humbled. My grandfather used to tell me that all the time, humble yourself. And so that was the first part of it. But I don't know if I've even turned off. I've really tried to train myself to not look at things as good and bad, because you don't know what it's going to lead to. You don't know the result of a situation. So, me going through this situation and being fired, I'm grateful to Memphis. I'm grateful to the city. I'm grateful to those players, because they allow me to grow and learn. And who knows what this is going to turn into after this, And so I just, I had a few days where I was dark, and you go into your dungeon and into your cave, and I got some news that really picked me up about. It was a few weeks afterwards, and the head of the Civil Rights Museum hit me up, Terry Freeman, with a text saying that the Memphis was bringing down the Confederate statues that we had worked really hard to get taken down. And it just put things into perspective for me that, you know what, I made some kind of impact. I was a part of something. I did something that will leave a mark in that city and connect me to that city no matter what. And it picked me up. And it really just got me back to okay, go start meeting with people, start meeting with coaches when they come into town, go out and see teams, go meet with people that you never expected you would meet with, leaders of different fields. And I just got after it and just started, got my body moving, because my wife was about to kill me.
Right.
And so I was like, I got to get out of the house or she's going to strangle me or start making me do stuff I really don't want to do.
Right. When you have that time off and you've coached for 21 years, and obviously, without saying, and it's an understatement, basketball is something you adore. You love it.
Yeah, it's part of my breathing apparatus.
and you've been, for 21 years, it's almost like Pavlov's bell. This time of the year, you're part of basketball, whether it was going back to when you were assistant.
Didn't matter.
Yep. So how are you watching the NBA and also knowing that you want to coach again? What have you been able to sort of step back? Have you able to learn or do you not even watch as much?
I don't watch as much, as crazy as that sounds. I actually have been going back through film and things that I've been interested in from other teams on my laptop and just digging back into classic film. And I've been watching the NBA and just staying so I can stay up to par on what's going on. But I haven't been watching it religiously. I've literally been going back through old edits offensive ideas that I had thought of that I really wanted to study, different coaches, offensive systems like Scott Skiles and people like that who are kind of out, but they ran good stuff.
I got you.
And I never really had time to dig into that kind of film. And so I've done that with defenses. I really dove into, just recently because, I don't know if you saw, but last summer I spent, 2 weeks with Larry Brown.
Right.
Unbelievable. You end up realizing how much you don't know.
Why is he?
Because it's the details. He doesn't miss anything. He can be talking to you over here and he's seen 5 or 6 things that should have been coached by your assistant coaches. And so what he was doing is he was tightening up my operation for me and walking around the gym and, hey, you should be coaching this right now. And what are you looking at? And like just coaching my coaches. And it was just an incredible experience. So, those type of things, I think when you spend time with people like that, that's what that gets me going.
I got you.
You know what I mean? That's like when I get to spend time with Pat and older coaches who have really, they what do they say? They've forgotten more than we've ever learned. Uh-huh. That it ignited me. And so he came out and so what I started doing recently is I got into my Detroit Pistons film.
Of which era?
His era.
Okay.
And, when that was Chauncey and Sheed and Ben Wallace and Tayshaun and Rip and all of those guys. And then they brought those 2 Bulldogs, Lindsey Hunter and Mike James off the bench and they sucked them on you. Because what I'm trying to get them, and then I got into his Philly film of his Philly teams with AI, when AI was the only guy on the court that could score, but you couldn't score against them. And because the reason I did is because if I do get back soon, how do I beat the best? I'm not going to outscore Houston and Golden State. That's just not realistic. No matter what team I take, I just don't realistically see that happening where I'm just going to walk into a team that can outscore them. So I got to have a defense that's number one. And so I've really dove into the best defenses in the league and just really tried to spend my time locked into learning from the best.
So when you watch Larry Brown teams, signature teams of the Philly teams with AI and Dikembe and the Detroit team you just mentioned, can you clearly see that's a Larry Brown coach team?
Absolutely.
Like, what is it like, that you could describe? Like, obviously, we can't see it. Like, what is it that you could describe specifically?
Just right out the gate, the level of competition.
How hard they're playing?
How hard they're playing, the fact how much contact they're making with their opponent. The minute you touch the ball, they're picking you up full court. The minute you try to bust to get the ball and create a lead to catch it, they're denying that, making you go somewhere else. You cut through the lane, you getting hit, you getting bumped, you getting touched. Like, there's no way you're going to go through the lane without feeling some contact. When they foul you, it's real. It's not dirty, maybe a little bit, but it's real. And that is what you see. And they don't make coverage mistakes. They don't make communication mistakes, those teams. Larry's teams communicated at the highest levels, especially once they got Rasheed. Oh, my God. He's the biggest mouth in the league. I hope he's listening. Big mouth, but he would talk everybody into position on that team.
Rasheed was.
Oh, my God. He was the difference in that team winning the title. He was the injection they needed. And credit to Joe Dumars and those guys for seeing that and being able to say, hey, this is exactly what this team needs to put us over the top. And so, that's when it's a Larry Brown team, the way they talk, the way they execute their defense, and then the way they finish their possessions. You're never going to get an open, clean look off of them. They're going to contest everything, and then they give you one shot, and they're gone. And they just, all through his career, if you watch any of his teams, through college, through pro, they all had that same intensity.
Now, Larry Brown with the Philly teams, like the years, I can't remember, like the AI, when they obviously...
Shaq and Kobe years.
They were undermanned, but that was like a triumph of the spirit. And then Detroit. Now, is that style of basketball, because you just mentioned Golden State, Houston. Houston's like almost like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Is that style of basketball that you're studying and looking at, would it apply today?
Yeah, defensively it does. It's just, can you tweak it to where, okay, we'll switch these situations so that we're not scrambling around trying to keep up with these three-point shooting teams. Maybe we won't rotate here. We'll just stun at a guy and keep ourselves out of rotation here. It's just little tweaks to the system that makes it more relevant to today. I think it's the offensive style that you always have to be mindful of is, can you keep up and keep the scoring up to a pace that you have a chance to win games. That's where I don't think you could take the air out of the ball. I don't think you could play a slow down game anymore.
You can't. You don't think you could win playing slow down?
Not at the highest level. Not against who's playing. I just don't see. I don't think there's a team that's together today. Even with full health, I don't think there's a team that can beat the best in our league right now.
Do you think that, like, when Golden State finishes their run, whatever, 5-6 years, and whatever happens with Houston, that this will always be the blueprint to win? You have to shoot threes. It has to be running gun like Houston. Or will it ever go back to, or will the players dictate that? Or is this the style of basketball that will win forever unless the rules change?
I'd just be really surprised to see it go back. I know everything kind of comes back full circle, but man, I just the skill level of these kids now, you're talking about centers like Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis. These guys come into the league already being the fastest guy on the court. They can jump over everybody and they shoot threes. I mean, if that's the evolution of the 5-man, and that's just continuing to go in that direction, I don't see how it slows down anytime soon. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So, because look at if that's what the 5s are doing, look at what the guards are all Steph. Look at the kid in college now, Trae Young. Steph. You can't say that wasn't influenced.
Absolutely.
It's like you can't say when you watch Kobe Bryant there wasn't a Jordan influence there.
Of course.
And so that's what's happening is these kids are watching this generation, the KDs, the Stephs, the LeBrons, and they're patenting their game. I think the Kyrie Irvings. You're going to start seeing a generation of kids finishing around the hoop in a way that we've never seen before. Right. Because they're watching Kyrie. In fact, I teach my guys, and you can ask people, we started in Miami, and it's a lot of teams that do it. Everybody has their way of doing it, but we teach finishing off the wrong foot, with the wrong hand, using the board, mastering the board, all different angles, until it becomes fundamental.
Okay, now, how do you teach it? And obviously what Kyrie is doing, he's taking everything from what Rod Strickland, Isaiah Thomas, Zeke Thomas, to, going back to Nate Tiny Archibald, to what Doc was doing. And Kyrie's he mastered the whole thing.
He put it all together.
And, we were talking the other day, they call it the Euro step. Dr. J used to do that.
Right.
But it was crazy long.
He
it was
stepped
boom.
all the way over there.
He stepped damn near out of bounds. And, so you actually teach that?
Yeah, we teach it. We teach the Euro step. We teach it off of both legs so you can be able to do it right to left, left to right. We teach popping the ball out like James Harden so that you draw fouls and keep the ball away. And that's Jim Boylan, assistant coach with Chicago Bulls, was the first one that taught me that. He used to do it with Stevie Franchise and Cuttino Mobley in Houston. And it totally clicked with me because how he put it was, you work on your jump shot all day, but no one spends time on their finishes, and most of your shots are happening around the basket. And so I just really dove into that, and it clicked with me when he taught me that about 17 years ago. And I just started working with it and playing with it and watching how guys moved, and thought about how I played when I was a player, and because I was a slow guard, so I used to have to do layups off the wrong leg to just get my shot off. And I just started trying to make it into my own fundamental. And when I got with Spo, he saw it exactly the same way. And we literally built a program around how to make layups in different ways and different angles.
And what about D Wade? Obviously James Harden, that particular sort of thing that he does, Dwayne Wade, Doc was doing it, he started going over the top. But what about D Wade? Because he was doing this sort of instead of going forward, it's sideways, forward. Did you work with him on it? And was he open to it?
When I first got there, he walked in the gym and I was teaching the young guys the Euro step. And I had already known that he was doing that in games naturally. And so, when I started, he goes, man, that's what I do. I said, yeah. I said, I like to teach guys how to do it. He said, oh, you can't teach what I do. I said, yeah, I can. I said, watch this. I said, jump in. And so all the guys were doing it, but I had it where they were playing keep away like James Harden. And so the next time when he did it, I didn't coach him. And as soon as he took his step back across the lane, he brought the ball back to me. I stripped him. And I said, so I can teach you something about the two-step. He said, yes, you can. And from that moment, it was like he helped me morph it and helped Spo morph it and turn it into something that was just like, it seemed complicated, but it was very fundamental, right? And that was my marriage counselor used to say to me and my wife, it's simple but not simplistic.
Right. Marriage, I don't know about the Euro step, but marriage, I can't speak on the Euro step, but I can speak on...
Oh man.
So D Wade, I mean, we could do a whole podcast just on
Special guy.
this thing that happened in the terrible shooting.
Yeah.
You know, D Wade, he may play next year, he may not play next year. He was in Chicago, then he goes to Cleveland. It doesn't work. This terrible incident happens down in Florida. D Wade throws back the hands of time.
Oh my gosh.
What is it about him?
I see that's something you cannot give a player. You know how you always talk about, they say, oh, you can't give a player heart. You can't give a player this. You cannot give a player that I want the ball in that moment and understand the moment first off. Hey, this is a moment that's happening. This moment needs somebody to step into it and take it. And he understands that better than any player I've ever coached. Even more than LeBron. Like LeBron grew into it and really morphed into that, but D Wade just had it. And you saw it early on in his career, even in college. Like he could just take a game over in a way and understand like what was needed in a way like I had never seen. And that moment in Florida was like, this guy, he was in Cleveland and somehow it worked out that he was back in Miami before this happens. And this kid was buried in his jersey. And for him to understand that this is what his city needed, they needed that inspiration, they needed to be lifted up, and to be able to execute it, that's special. And I don't know how you give guys that. I don't know what parents teach their kids. I don't know what a kid has to go through, but he has it, and it is part of his DNA.
Two guards. Where does D Wade rank in terms of?
I think top three.
Michael?
Michael, Kobe, him. I mean, obviously, I'm throwing them above, if you want to call Jerry, West, and guys like that, too. I understand it, but I just think that for what he's done, 3 championships, finals MVP, he's going to have a statue on Biscayne Boulevard.
Do you guys have statues down there yet?
Not yet. He's going to be the one. You know, it's a young organization.
I know.
He overall is if you look at the big scheme of it, it was an expansion team.
Yes.
And so, they don't have statues yet, but they have 3 championships. And it's teams that's been around this league a long time.
I feel like you're making a Knicks joke there. Like you're saying
that was not a shot.
No,
at
but
the
I
Knicks
feel like
at
because it's
all.
like, and you did
But
it
I
real,
just-
like you did just
I
laid
just
it out
saying,
there.
though, like that's what they're young, so they don't have statues.
Okay,
but,
no,
hey,
but
look,
they're-
I got big respect for the Knicks. You kidding me, man? That's history right
No,
there.
I know, but it's like you didn't. Like I felt like there was just like a little punch to it. I'm gonna ask you right now. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can this be part 1 of another podcast? You come back again. Can I already invite you for another one?
Yeah, come on, we boys, come on.
Okay, 'cause I can't-
This is kicking it. I felt like at the crib, I barely put on clothes. Like this is what I slept in yesterday.
The coach is.
I just Ubered over.
If the coach was seen like this, Fizdale, there would be like, you can't. This is like not coach. Like if you saw this dude here, you'd be like, "Yo, what's up, my man?"
But this is how I am with my players. It's just I never try to act above them or bigger than them. I try to connect to them. Obviously, I have to be the person that holds them accountable. But it doesn't mean it's always got to be combative and you and me and you over here and I'm over here. I'm coach, you're players. I like to have a relationship with these guys.
But how do you balance that? Because when I met you, I met Dave at a party over All-Star break, and I just heard the way you would the way you greeted D Wade. You ran into him. I was already like, I fucking love this dude. But I was like, you would never hear other coaches like, that's your dude, like your friends. How do you balance that when you go back into the league where obviously Dwayne is older, and you guys sort of grew up together, so there is that sort of like where your guards are down and you don't need him to sort of show you the respect, but how are you going to balance that when you go forward to being a cool dude?
It was warm, but that's the thing that people don't understand is our relationship is based in respect. It's we're cool, but he knows, like when we stepped in that gym, it was, man, we got to win a title. So our friendship for now is here, and let me coach you. And I'm never going to come unprepared, and I'm always going to tell you the things that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And the fact that I would always do that with them, always, Spo was always like that with them, that to a point where the respect was there. And they knew that they can come back at us and it wouldn't be personal.
In terms of like they could say or be frustrated
you
or be
see
like,
us arguing all the time.
you guys will argue all the time.
I'm just happy Udonis Haslam never punched me out right on the sideline, because there was times me and him would be going at it. Realistically, we were saying the same stuff, but it was just from a player's point of view and a coach's point of view. But we'd be fired up over there, man. I mean, you remember the playoffs? D Wade and Spo were going at it in Indiana. The next game we come back, you wouldn't even know it happened because it was built out of competition and the thrill of the competition and understanding that we just had to win titles. And, you know, out of that, you spend so much time together. You get to know each other's families. You know, you there for guys when they go through real stuff, you know, custody battles, and, you know, divorces and death. And, you know, I was with the guy for almost 10 years. And so,
and you went from being 31 to 41.
Yeah, basically.
Right?
And
Ish.
yeah, and that relationship over time with all of those guys just became family.
I got you.
You know, and you know, now to the point where we vacation together and our wives are friends.
I got
and
you.
You know, all of our kids are friends. My son calls them uncle.
I got you.
You know, when he sees LeBron, it's Uncle LeBron, it's Uncle Wade, and it's, you know, but you had to, it was built on respect.
I got you.
It wasn't built on, hey, I'm going to kiss your ass and we all cool and you get to do whatever you want to do.
I got you.
You don't get back on defense, I'm going to be the first one up your ass.
Right.
You know, and so that's where they realized, all right, this dude ain't letting us off the hook. And so let's just listen to what he's got to say. But at the same time, they knew they can go off. And I'd listen, I'd hear it, I wouldn't take it as personal, and we move on. And that's why we ended up now, even to this day, we're all so close.
LeBron James, I would never try to argue his greatness and everything he's done. Who's the hardest working player you've ever seen
You just
play?
said it. That's
LeBron.
It. Yeah, I don't know. If
Well, what
I've
don't
ever
we see? Because we
behind the
see,
scenes.
at this point, we see all this crazy shit. I mean, you know, and as much as I break his balls, he can't win. He says something, we break his balls. He doesn't say something, we break his balls. You know, he can't fucking win. None of these players can win because it's crazy because these NBA players, all of them, and now he's, you know, a veteran, they're living in a 24/7 reality show. If they talk shit on the court and it's not in the game, it'll wind up on Instagram. Like
everything.
And
Everything's
he's
news
sort of
now.
he's the epicenter of it all.
Where he's at now, though, he's in a place now that he's got the monkey off of his back, and so he doesn't have to give a damn about what anybody says. Me, you, any of the media, he doesn't have to care about that. Now he's still going to handle himself professionally. He's going to go about it every day the right way. But I just think what you're seeing now, and what you've probably seen, you know, over the last probably 4 or 5 years, once he won that title, was just a more confident, secure, sure human being. And what people don't see is that it's not many minutes of his day that he's sitting on his ass.
What is he doing?
He's lifting. He's doing Pilates. He's doing yoga. He's riding his bike. He's in the gym shooting. He's doing treatment. He's watching film. He's always trying to improve and stay as the number one player in the world, and he's always trying to put himself in a position to win championships.
When you say ride his bike, like what? Ride his bike what?
Yeah, so like, you know, people knew about this back in Miami, but, you know, I'd be pulling into work some days and I'd see this 6'9" dude in, like, you know, bike clothes, like the tights and the tight shirts and the shades and the helmet and the whole. And he starts taking off his gear. He takes his hat, and it's LeBron underneath this bike gear, and he's rode his speed bike in to exercise from home to the gym and is going
in the regular highway, like
regular highway, Biscayne Boulevard. Got his head down. People don't know it's him. He's just flying down the street like like one of these guys in the Tour de France, and that's how he would get, like, that was like a little workout for him. That he would just hop on his bike and do stuff like that. But that's how he was built, man. And then he would always end up being. It was very few days that he wasn't one of the first people in the building and one of the last to leave. You know, that's how he's. And then the last part about it, where people are, the guy is a smart dude. He's always reading, learning, studying, like outside of basketball. So
when he was reading the Harry Potter books, that wasn't just, I'm reading the Harry Potter. Like, remember where I think it might have been in Cleveland.
Man. Yeah, he reads everything. He reads business books. He reads, you know, Harry Potter stuff. He reads leadership stuff. But he's always feeding his brain. All the time he's feeding his brain. And so that's where, at least for the time that I've spent with him and been around great players, that to me is what makes him different than anybody I've ever seen.
Right.
But, you know, you've heard about the work ethic of Jordan and Kobe and all of those guys. So I wasn't around them, but they got legendary stuff too. Kobe in the summer was every morning, 4:35 a.m., having these private workouts. And, you know, guys would be dropping out of the workout and Kobe would still be going,
Right,
you know,
bringing
working
the
on
next
his
man
game.
in.
You know, Jordan was the kind of guy that could go out with the guys all night. And, you know, if you saw him that night, the next day he beat you in the gym and you like, wait a minute, I just saw you were having drinks with your buddies, but you're in here and you beat me to work. Like, that's the kind of guy Jordan was. So when you talk about greatness, I think that one ingredient has to be a part of it. But I don't know if he worked harder than them. I just know he worked harder than everybody I had been around.
I got you. And that Miami Heat team, I mean, there was so much. It was just like, there should be a documentary just on the decision to win going back.
It will be. It will be.
Just,
it has to be.
From when he went to there to when he left.
Oh, my
And you were
goodness.
there for the whole thing.
We saw the whole thing up close.
All right, let me ask you, just pick questions. Did you find out LeBron James was going to the Miami Heat the same way everybody else did?
No. I was one of the first people to know.
You knew before the Jim Gray disaster?
Yeah, I knew before all of that. Yeah,
And how do you know?
Because I'm with D Wade. And so D Wade and I was at Prime 112. He rented out a room.
Was that steakhouse?
The steakhouse on the beach. That's our spot. He rented out the back room, invited all our friends, family, whatever, for the decision. And this is, we're there 2 hours before whatever. And D Wade's got his phone right there. So we're sitting there. They got this on film. We're sitting there and we get a text, right before he goes out to tell everybody, I'm coming to South Beach. And me and him look at each other. Then he walks up there and he does the Jim Gray, the whole deal. And no one else knew other than, so his close people knew, I'm sure. But in our group, it wasn't very, very few people knew that was going through.
And the first year, these guys were at their peak. Yeah. Bosh, who we sort of forgot about his greatness.
Beast.
He's a freak.
Hall of Famer. I'm telling you, book it.
And LeBron and Wade, they come down there. Everybody, I'm on the front lines of it. I can't stand this damn team.
They were easy to hate.
Yeah.
We were easy to hate, especially after we did the whole not 1, not 2, not 3.
Not 4.
Not 4.
Not 5. Not 6. Not 7. I was like...
Hey, he's crazy, but it takes balls. He knew what he was doing. He was just putting pressure on himself. I like it. I like guys that ain't afraid. I think, these guys get a lot of criticism for chasing championships and leaving their team and do this. I think it takes balls. I think because now you have to win it. Kevin Durant had to win it.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, you talking about, I'm leaving this team that was in the Western Conference Finals against this team, and I'm leaving to go play with them. You have to win it now. And that takes, you're putting all the chips in now. Mm-hmm. And I thought LeBron did that twice. And did it.
And he did it.
So... that's where I know people see him in all of these different lights. I looked through all of that and I said, man, how hard that had to be to do what he did and to actually accomplish it in both places. That to me is to be marveled at.
But you grew up in, you're watching 80s basketball, 90s basketball, early 2000s basketball, Larry Brown, and obviously this conversation is another one. I'm getting sick of it also. But now it's almost like you have to be a part of the banana boat. You have to be friends with these dudes. You have to be part of the cool kids clique to click up and win. What's going to happen to the Orlando Magic? What's going to happen to, the landscape of the other leagues that maybe they aren't friends? Maybe, Porzingis, he grew up in Europe. He doesn't know these guys. Right. He didn't play AAU with them.
It all shifts. I think, the draft always dictates a lot of time where talent ends up. So again, a Porzingis, here he is in New York. This is where he ended up. New York's a great market. Porzingis comes back healthy. They keep building the team the right way around him. A free agent will look at that situation and say, that's something I want to be a part of. Guys aren't just running to go play with their buddies as much just to play with their buddies. If they think, I might not get shots, I might not get the playing time or the prestige or whatever. So there is a balance to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just saying, I'm just going to go jump on this team and give up, sacrifice all of this other stuff. Those teams have a chance to build, and it's just a matter of getting the right combination of GM, president, coach together with the right vision, and you draft the right young talent. You start attracting, those fringe free agents, guys, those good veteran players that still can really help your young guys grow. Next thing you know, you're winning, you're in the playoffs, and you have an opportunity to hit one of those free agents. You've built relationships with an agent, or maybe you've just created a great atmosphere. that's how you start reeling them in. But you also got to be able to pitch it. You got to be able to sell it to them. And, you know, the Golden State Warriors had to sell it to KD. It wasn't just he walked into Golden State. He went to Boston. He went here. He went to Miami. He was everywhere. But they had to pitch it. You know, Pat had to seal that deal with LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne. Like, Dwayne orchestrated it behind the scenes, but Pat had to make it like, this is why. And this is why you should sign the paperwork. And so you still have to have some, you know, that's why I say the GM, coach, and owner, you got to have the right combination of people that can pitch and recruit and bring people in.
My last question about the Miami Heat. You guys beat San Antonio. San Antonio comes back and kicks your ass. And I gotta be honest, Coach, I wasn't here. I was in my old house, and then I watched it right here. My father was in his underwear, okay? And I loved it. I loved it. Manu banged it on him. Somebody knocked him down, and that was the play that ended. 5 games.
It was done.
It's done.
They ran through us.
Me and my father watched it. He was nuts. He was 80. We went crazy.
Yeah.
Now and that's I know the pain. It doesn't go away.
It's brutal.
You've moved on. You've coached. That moment of my joy is your misery.
It's the worst misery of my life.
Okay, why don't you re-up? We beat you. We just kicked your ass in 5 games easy. Beat the shit out of you. Why don't you re-up? Like, it's like Dwayne Wade sort of lost a step, but then he didn't lose a step. LeBron's a fucking beast. He hasn't lost a step. Chris Bosh,
I think it was calling them home, man. I think it was
Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't think it was the city. Like, don't look at it as like a resort town. Look at it as
not
like,
a resort town.
This is where he grew up. These are the people that he look in the face every day. His neighbors, his childhood friends, business owners whose businesses plummeted. The state of Ohio's revenue plummeted when he left. Their economic situation just from one person leaving, and that weighed on him. And people don't understand that. Like, that stuff he carries and cares about.
That's real. That's not. That's just not like that. That's like a real thing.
He pays attention. This is a smart guy. This guy knows business. He knows community. So he understood like what the impact was of him leaving, and that stuck with him. And you know, he had 2 titles. We lost that year. Was we all pissed at him at first? Hell yeah. We all wanted to keep the ship going. You know, we wanted to keep the thing rolling, and we wanted to get back in San Antonio. But, you know, he's a man, and he has to make that decision, and that's not an easy decision.
I hear you. I respect that.
And, you know, I was just happy to see him not only get back there, but to get back there and win that title. If they don't win any more titles there, you know, that title was worth probably 4 for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's that, and just to have your native son come back and do it, and
in dramatic fashion.
I mean, come on, it was like one of the most exciting things you've ever seen. And as a basketball fan, you know, forget my loyalties and who I love and all of that stuff. Just as a fan, to watch that all take place was just awesome.
Now, when I bring up that series versus San Antonio, painful, and then the year before, elation,
awesome.
How deep is your memory? If I said to you, game 2, like, are you able to
pretty deep? Yeah. It's because they burn in your head because you watch. You gotta understand, like, when you in the playoffs, you usually only have like a day between, sometimes 2. The amount of times you watch that game you just played over and over and over before you play that next game, those plays start to burn into your head, and how many edits you watch. And then they start accumulating. So you say you're in game 5. Well, you're not just watching game 4. You're going back to game 2 to see if it's something back in game 2 that can help you. You're going back to game 1 to see if it's something defensively you did against Tim Duncan that might work. You're hunting. And so these plays end up becoming like, you know, like just burned in your memory. You know, I'm sure some stuff I forgot, but yeah, it's a lot of times I see the guys and we'll be joking like Chris Bosh was. We was in the studio in Bristol doing ESPN stuff, and he goes, "Man, you remember that play against the Spurs?" And I said, "Yeah, it was the second quarter." And we both just started laughing because it's just you go through it and you dream it. That's the other thing.
Do you dream in basketball?
Oh, absolutely. So like we both said it. Spo and I, we laughed after we beat the Spurs and the series was over. The next day, I jumped out of bed like in a defensive stance because
that is funny.
I was literally like getting ready to play game 8, and get ready for game 8, and like I gotta prepare and I gotta do all of this stuff. And I was literally watching the game in my head like the series was still going. And then I woke up and I'm standing up, and she was my girlfriend at the time, my future wife, looks at me, she goes, "What are you doing?"
You lucky she married you.
Right. She thought I was nuts. And
that's crazy.
I go, "Babe, I gotta get ready. For it." She goes, "Babe, you guys won it." And I was like, oh my God, like literally, like I was like ready to go. And Spo was having the same kind of episodes where it was like, you're literally dreaming, and then you get up and you like, all right, we got to do this, and we got to do this against Tony Parker and Manu. And then all of a sudden it's like, shit, the series over.
That's crazy.
It's real though, man, because you're so locked in. You so locked in. It's probably like you getting ready for a character in a movie, and all you do is train your brain to be this human being that's not, really isn't you. You're just in this robotic mode of becoming something, and you can't get out of it. You probably think about it all day.
I love that.
Probably and so
that's wild though that you physically got it.
I'm telling you, I guarantee you, as basketball guys, coaches out there that hear this, that'll say, "Yep, I know exactly that feeling." Especially when you in the battle. Like NC2A, the Final Four stuff, or like a hard-fought series against Indiana goes 6 games or something, and like you wake up that next day and you think you're still playing that team.
I love that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what the competition does to you, man. And that's the part that I love and I'm missing right now. That's what I'm dying. I'm dying. That feeling is the one thing that's been pulled away out of all of the stuff, the camaraderie and the relationships. It's the competition that I miss.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. When did your basketball playing career stop, and when did you start thinking you were going to be a basketball coach?
My career stopped when I was done with college.
Okay, and you played
I played at the University of San Diego. I had some opportunities to go play overseas. I had an opportunity to go play Division II in France, and 2 of my buddies got sent home from France without their money. And both of these guys could score. And that's what the European League look for. They look for guys like, I couldn't score. And so I'm like, am I really about to go over here and turn around and get sent right back home, from doing this? And that, I tweaked my back right around the same time. I'm sitting here going, oh man, this isn't, the vibe wasn't right. And Mike Brown calls me out of the blue, the top assistant for Golden State.
The coach.
Mike Brown is one of my mentors, one of my good friends. He played at the University of San Diego. Was in New York. He's
probably got a lot of secrets. I'm sure he's got a lot of goddamn secrets. I don't even want to talk to him.
Brownie's the best, man.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he got a lot of damn secrets.
He calls me out of the blue. He was a scout in Washington at the time, and he calls me. He said, "Man, I know you not sure about going overseas and all of this." He said, "I think you might, if basketball doesn't work out, maybe you want to think about being a coach." And I thought I aimed low. I was like, yeah, one day I'll coach high school or typical 21, 22-year-old. I wasn't like locked into like I'm gonna be an NBA coach. And he called Spo. He and Spo played against each other in college and became friends through that. Spo had a guy bail on him at the last second to be his intern. Guy driving from Texas, turned around at the last second and got homesick. And Spo ended up needing a guy.
And Spo was what at this time?
He's the video coordinator.
Which on the pecking order of what is what?
He's his intern is the shit house, and he's right above that as the video guy.
Okay, so he's like
I was in the shit house.
So you're cleaning the shit house. You're
dropping off coffees and breaking down as much film as you could possibly imagine.
And this is before you could edit stuff on your phone.
VCR, baby, deck to deck. And you do not want to be a video coordinator for Pat Riley and Stan Van Gundy with deck to deck. Those guys, we was in there working all night long, boy. And it was, but it ended up working out to be the single most important thing that happened to me in my basketball career.
Why?
Because that relationship.
Of you and Spolestra.
Yeah, we ended up bonding. It took us half a day to realize that somewhere down the road, we were brothers. We don't like the same stuff. We don't go do the same things. We don't hang out in the same places. But when it comes to the game and how to approach it and being open-minded and willing to look at yourself and grow, and we clicked and we challenged each other. And, I was only with him a year. I left to go. I had a chance to become his position, and he was going to get moved into a scouting position. and I wanted to coach on the floor. I was like, I'm done with this video crap. These walls are closing in on me. I want to coach on the floors, and I got lucky. My college coach brought me back to be an assistant at my college at San Diego.
Okay.
And I was the third assistant there, and then I would say a total of 13 years, 12 years later, Spo gets moved into the head coach's spot because Riley steps down. I'm an assistant coach in Atlanta, and the first call Spo makes is he calls me.
That's how you found you. He called you directly.
He called me as I'm looking at the ticker and seeing his name go along the ticker saying that he was just named the head coach of the Miami Heat, and my phone's ringing, and we're playing against the Celtics. The year the Celtics won it, KG and all of them, I was in Atlanta, and we were the first round series against them, and I'm sitting in the locker room, and Spo calls me, and he says, man, I really hope y'all beat the Celtics. He said, but when it's all over, pack your stuff. You're coming to Miami. And that was it. And we never thought we was going to get the big three, and but that just going there in 97, I never knew that relationship was going to turn into this whole thing that's really the backbone of my whole deal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I owed him a lot.
And so what is Spolestra like, like as far as like a basketball coach? Like, obviously I don't want to like, compare him to Larry Brown, but like if you say, like Spolestra as a basketball mind.
He's serious, man. He takes it serious. He really doesn't believe in cheating. He doesn't believe, he really believes deep down that there's a basketball god, that if you don't tell the team the exact numbers that's happening, like I'll fudge the numbers sometime, and I'll lie to the team and say, hey man, you shooting this much more. Like, you guys are doing great, especially if we're down. Spo won't. He's got integrity to the end, and that's why I hold him in such high esteem, because he is just like, there's no shortcut in him. And it comes out in his coaching, and you can see it in his coaching. And here you got the first, Asian American to ever coach professional sports, to be a head coach in a professional sports, or second one or something like that. That's unbelievable. First Filipino to do. I mean, he goes back to the Philippines. This guy is a god.
Right.
I mean, he's a rock star.
Right.
It's like the guy from Journey and Spo. Journey, Manny, and Spo.
That's funny.
It's like that. Like,
that replacement dude from Journey. That's funny.
It's real though. Like,
right.
It's real. I went over there twice with him. It's real.
That's crazy.
It's like rocking the bus, rock star stuff, like marching band in the street stuff.
Okay.
I mean, it's that big, and it's so cool to see, man, because, I didn't realize it, but basketball is the number one sport in the Philippines.
Okay.
They love it, and it was because so many Americans were stationed over there during the war, and so they brought hoop to there, and so Spo is just, but what he is he's a purist. He's going to keep it real with you. He ain't going to BS you as a player. No one's going to outwork him, out-prepare him. I mean, no one. You're just not. You might match him, but you're not going to out-prepare him. It's just, I'm sorry. And he's fair. And that's all you can ask for, And now you put that together with he's never worked for any other organization.
Right.
He's only been under greatness his whole tenure. He's only coached great players. Even before that, when you go back to Tim Hardaway and Alonzo and Keith Askins and that team, that Dan Marley, those guys are beasts. You're not talking about chump change there, So now it's just his fabric. It's his DNA. And for me, it was just, I've been lucky enough to be around somebody like that a big chunk of my career.
Pat Riley. I had Doc Rivers on the podcast. Obviously, he played under Pat when Pat was nuts in New York. What's the best Pat Riley is crazy? Prove to me that Pat Riley's crazy, because Doc told me some story about like he put his head in a bucket of water before a game.
That's a legendary story for sure.
That's nuts.
Yeah, coach should do what he's got to do to motivate you. Like, he ain't afraid to like, coach. Yeah, that's the craziest story I ever heard was the head in the bucket story. Until you can't breathe, this game has to mean so much to you to your last breath, and it comes out basically purple and his hair is everywhere.
Right, and he flips it back, and Pat Ewing's like, holy shit.
Yeah, but that was Pat, and what you saw on the surface was this, incredibly dressed, handsome, articulate, sharp, tough, all of the things you want in a coach. Like he was like, if you could just look up coach in the dictionary, that's what you want coaches to be, is like Pat, right? You know? But underneath, he is just a savage competitor. He would, I don't know what, he might hurt a family member, seriously, to win. And, you know, that's what I just loved being around him, was you just knew he was with you in that trench, and he was like, it was all chips in, and we're going after the title, and I got your back, and let's do it. And even when you're down, I'm gonna be here picking you up. And so that was the part for me, like, that was just so cool to be around. You know? And he just, you know, I got so many stories of him, man. But he just had a way about him that always made you feel like it was gonna be all right.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he was that calming presence from the standpoint of when things were chaotic, he can kind of see the light through it and say, hey, this is how you're going to get through it. Hang in there. You know, he just knew how to kind of settle everything. But, you know, it was days, even as, you know, when he stepped away as president, he lined us all up on the wall. And, you know, as soon as Coach came to the gym and you heard that whistle, because he didn't carry a whistle, he whistled. And he lined the whole team up and all the coaches and all the trainers. And if it was something he needed to get off his chest.
To everybody.
Everybody.
The coaches, everybody's getting it.
Everybody. We're all in it together. But he doesn't exclude himself.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? He's not saying it's me over here and you over there.
I got you.
And you jack-offs is this and you screw-ups is this. And it's we gotta, and y'all and here and but it's like this. To the, you know, he cuts to the core.
He goes in.
It's to the bone marrow. You know, he ain't dancing around anything. And, you know, but that was the respect that he had, for, you know, that he got from us, and that we all had that for him, that he could do that. And he knew it wasn't an everyday thing because it was Spo's team. But he'd come to Spo, hey, Spo, let me put him on the wall today. And Spo said, you got him, coach. Because Spo, it'd be days, Spo was tired of him. Yeah, you got him. Take him.
I like
it's like
that.
your kids.
We're going to put him on the wall.
Put him on the wall today. And, you know, guys from the Heat know, any guy in the generations of the Heat, they know when you go to that wall, you about to hear it. So, you know, but I was just lucky. He's even today still, you know, probably more than anyone I've talked to since I've been out. I've been talking to Pat and my buddy Chris Grant, who used to be the GM in Cleveland, was my college teammate. But Pat has been, you know, my sounding board.
I got you.
You know, on everything.
I got you.
So he's, you know, I hold him. He's, you know, he's the Godfather.
He's everything that people say.
Yeah, especially when you with him.
Right.
Now, if you outside the walls, you probably hate him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's nothing like being a part of under his umbrella. I'm sure it's probably a lot of what San Antonio guys feel about being with Pop.
I got you.
Or Larry's guys feel about being with him. You know, it's just a real, it's a secure feeling knowing that you're a part of something with that kind of person at the helm.
If I say to you 5 times in your career as a professional coach, assistant, or even head, when you're 90, you got grandkids, the most impressive things that you saw from opposing teams, for not LeBron, not D Wade, that you were coaching against, where you were like, almost like you become a fan, like either whether it's AI going nuts, or Kobe or Tracy McGrady. I mean, the thing that I love about your span in the NBA, you had
I've seen them all, baby. I say some good stuff.
So when I say, like, you just remember going, oh shit.
Yeah, like, I know you don't necessarily want to go back to like those guys, but like, I could tell you,
I want them all. I don't care where you start.
I remember stuff like, I remember D Wade being a rookie, right? And I was in Golden State. So he was on the other team, okay?
And you're on Golden State. And what team?
I'm
what
the
year is this?
assistant coach at Golden State. This was 2002 or 3 or something like that. And we have Calbert Chaney, Nick Van Exel, Cliff Robinson, Jason Richardson, Mike Dunleavy, Speedy Claxton. We had a good team. Eric Dampier was our center. And D-Wade was a rookie. And Muss, our head coach, Eric Musselman, who's at the University of Nevada, Reno now, one of my guys, he's yelling at Calbert Chaney, back off of him. He can't shoot. He can't shoot. It was like the playground. And I remember Keith Smart said, Muss, you better stop saying that to that kid. You better stop saying that. It's going to come back again and bite us. That game passes. They struggle. We win the game. We go to Miami later that year, and he says the same thing to D. Wade. And the kid ended up, this is rookie year, and couldn't shoot at the time. He runs off 6 straight threes on us. And Smarty, I'll never forget, Keith Smart looked back at me and said, get ready. He's going to be one of the greatest players to ever play. And I'm thinking then, D. Wade, 5th pick, I see a big-time athlete, whatever. I didn't see what he saw. And from that moment on, I started paying attention, and it was like, you know, like just an explosion. Right. I remember the first time, like, where I saw Kobe in person, where I was coaching against him.
What was that like?
It wasn't fair because you couldn't get to him. He can get to any spot on the floor and elevate, and you felt helpless. You couldn't run a double team at him. He never missed. If it was on the line, you knew deep down that there's a chance you was getting your heart ripped out. And I just remember, like, we were trying to figure out what to do against him, and it was like we came up. It got to a point we ran out of suggestions because it was just nothing we can do to stop him. We didn't have the people to stop him. We didn't have the system that could possibly stop him, and it was just. But I remember seeing it, going, "Oh my goodness, this is what it looks like in person, huh? This is what this kind of guy looks like." And then, you know, when I was a kid, I got to sneak into the Forum and watch Magic, Kareem, Worthy. You know, hell, you was here for a year. You remember those teams when you was living out here. You know, I got to see that up close. I got to see, you know, like Dr. J come through there. I got to see all of those players. Like, so I just been around. I've got to see so many great players up close and personal in so many different types of ways. You know, I got to see Paul Pierce when he was a kid.
Tell me about that.
I walked into my high school gym coming back from college, and Paul was like a 9th grader. And, you know, you coming back from college to your high school, you think you the dude, you about to run the gym, best player in the gym, 9th grader. And I'm like, who is that? I'm like, who is this dude? Is he like a senior? They like, no, he's going to the 10th grade next year. That's Paul Pierce.
You saw that with your own...
I couldn't believe what I saw.
What were you seeing?
He was 6'6". He was a point guard. He had touch. He had handle. He was so smooth, and it was so easy. In my neighborhood in LA, I had never seen a player like that. And we seen a lot. Like I told you, Chris Mills, Sean Higgins. All these guys was during that. Cedric Sabalas, a lot of guys.
Reggie Miller at UCLA.
And Cheryl used to come up to our park. You know.
And those games at UCLA over there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. But out of all the kids growing up in LA, I had never seen nothing like that one. And he just stood out like he was just a man amongst boys. And I just remember walking into the gym going, who in the hell is that? And have I been gone that long? And they said, man, that's Paul Pierce. It's like, and now look, his jersey is hanging in Boston Garden. We were bowling like a couple of weeks ago at this event during All-Star. And I said, man, can you believe your jersey is... He said, man, I said, what's more important to you, the Hall of Fame or that? He said, sometimes I don't know. Oh. Because the idea of your jersey in Boston Garden is like, with all of those greats, he understands the history of that. You know, that's a select group of people right there, you know. And but I saw him. I remember, you know, I played against Jason Kidd in the state championship.
In high school?
Yeah, and it was like I was playing I felt like I was like my age, and he was like 28.
And you're good. You're not like
I was a Division I basketball player. We had our whole team. We had like 7 of them on our team. He was just that good. Like he was ridiculously fast. He was the best passer I had seen at that age. Well, it was a push during that time because Jock Vaughn was a beast during that time coming out of high school. But Jason was one of the greatest passers I'd ever seen. And people don't realize it. J. Kidd used to have bounce. Mm-hmm. He used to get up and dunk on people. And when I just remember seeing him, and our high schools was rivals. Like we beat them during earlier that year in a tournament. Like it was like both of us were fighting for number 1 in the state. And I just remember our team just going, man, we didn't even know they made light-skinned guys like this. Like, where did they find this dude? They like, Fizz, you don't have any of this. Like, how can you be the light-skinned dude on the neighborhood team and you have none of this? Like this dude can jump,
That
he can
is funny.
shoot. He's 6'5".
And he was strong,
He's
too,
like,
right?
They're like, you're 5'11", you're weak, you're skinny, you slow.
That is
they're
funny.
Like, all you got was, you just got your dad's smarts. You got your white side smarts. That's what they used to
funny.
tell me. And then we're playing against this guy, and they're like, man, we never seen nothing like this. Like, everybody in our neighborhood respected Jay because he didn't back down. Like, he went at us, but he was a beast.
Now, you were at Atlanta, you coached, with Miami. But who are the players that you coached against that talk the most shit? Because this is the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I'm the MVP of talking trash. Yeah. Who are the players where you just want to be like, shut up?
Well, I just named one of them.
Paul
Pierce.
Was he, when he started?
Brutal. He was always talk.
What was his talk? Was trash talk style?
It's brutal. Just telling you, I mean, I don't want to say half of the words he would say, but he called you the B word, punk ass. He never missed clutch shots. He let you know he was the truth. That whole team, to be honest with you, that whole Boston team, for the most part, was letting you know every play. Sheed was one of the great talkers that I've ever.
He's one of the best.
Chris Paul is one of the great talkers in our game. He talks, and he's talking shit to everybody, talking to the refs. And he works the room. I hate him for it because he's like, Fizz, that wasn't no foul, ref. Look, this is why that wasn't a foul. And this, and then I can't even yell at the ref anymore because he stepped in and kind of took away my conversation from him. And now he's, hey, why y'all got this rookie on me? Come on, man. Y'all should know better than that. Like, he's had this full conversation, and the team is shooting free throws. So he's talked shit to me, my team, the refs, and then he goes down and he does something to kill you. And you're just like, oh, I hate this dude. Like, but it's just, he's one of those guys. He lets you know. I'm thinking, who else is one of them?
Kevin Garnett never stopped talking. He talking to himself. He talking to his team.
I think Kevin's like, multiple personalities was talking shit to each other internally.
They're talking like there's a conversation.
KG was having internal spats, but that's what fueled him, boy. That's what made him great. He was letting you know while he was kicking your butt all day long. I think Russell might got some talk in him, but he don't do a lot. But if you get him going, he's gonna let you know about it. Steph talk too.
Give it to me.
Steph be out there letting you hear it all the time. You know that. Especially if you think for any chance, like you got a chance to beat them, he'll let you know you have zero chance. Like basically, all right, fellas, let's stop messing around now. Like, to hear a grown man say that about your team, all grown men, y'all been messing around with us. Like, I'm like, come on, we got to get these dudes.
He talks.
Yeah, you can see it on the court. You watch those guys.
But it's not like in your face.
No, it's not. And it's none of these guys are like over the top. Draymond's a little nutty with it.
Right.
Like, he'll get in your face some, but like, it's not a lot of that anymore of where it's just straight in your face, like letting you know.
Is the art of trash talking done because of Instagram and like you can't do it because whatever you say, like you'll get fined or they could read your lips? Like,
I think it's a whole bunch of factors to it. That's just, I think as kids don't play on the playground as much anymore, where you could actually talk more, and it wasn't no such thing as a technical foul. You might get punched in the mouth,
right?
But there was no tech. And us growing up, that's all we did was play on the playground, and that's a punk call, and you ain't getting that call, and you soft, and you this, and so it was always a constant talking match on the playground. Mm-hmm. As soon as you start officiating those games, and AAU comes into it, and everything's structured and organized, it's like, and you get technicals for that stuff, and then you start moving up further, and you're getting fines for that stuff, and so I think it's been kind of, taken out of us a little bit by the way the rules have been structured. But I also think that, like you said, it's like this generation at least is not, I wouldn't call them a generation of communicators.
I got you.
Of people that do a lot of face-to-face communication.
I got you.
They would much rather text you and say what they got to say over a text and not actually have to interact and deal with the backside of the conversation.
I got you.
You know what I mean? And I've noticed that just as a coach, the shift since all of the technology has come in, it's just these guys would much rather They don't get in as much confrontation.
And do you think it's because they all grew they all grew up together? Like the majority of them,
they've all played hoop together
13,
their whole
14,
life.
like especially the main ones.
I mean, back in the day, those guys they just heard about you in the paper.
And you met on the court, you got busy.
Yeah. And it was less penalty for going at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you got into a fight and you got clipped a couple times, the fine wasn't as tough. The suspension wasn't as tough.
Right.
I mean, I remember it was fights all the time when we were growing up.
Right.
I'm talking about fists being thrown.
Right.
And, now guys don't do it. And, I don't want to promote fighting.
No, because I don't like the fighting
but
either.
Listen, but I will say this. Those guys were being fined according to what they were making there. I said this on TV the other day. These guys are being fined according to what they make now. So it's not like it just looks like the number is just much bigger, but the fine ratio is close to being the same.
Right.
It's just, do you really want to go there?
Right.
Are you built like that?
Right.
Have you ever even been in a fight?
Who in the league now is on that list? This is the guys that give me the impression. Udonis, to me, is like a throwback goon, and I got the pleasure of meeting him, and I was shocked. He's 6'8".
He's a big boy.
But he's a big guy, but he plays like he's like, you would think Adonis is 7 feet. But he's 6'9" at the most. I feel like he's 6'8". Goon. David West, goon. Who's on the list? Who's on the list
you notice the two guys you just named, both at the end of their careers, both older.
Right.
Both started in a whole different generation.
Right.
Right?
And Udonis is like 50, right? Adonis has him like 51, 52.
I'm going to check his birth certificate.
How old is this guy?
We're going to figure it out. But he doesn't age at all. The guy's still running, jumping, dunking. He's still doing all of the stuff. Anytime they throw him in a game, he gets a double-double. It's like...
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's like 50, 50. He's like older than you, right?
But he's ready to go when... Listen, if it's on... You want him on your side.
You want him on your team.
Yes.
Okay, David West. Who are the other people on the list?
I'm thinking about the league today, and as I go through the teams, it's very difficult to find. But
Zach?
Zebo is... you don't even want to go there with Zebo. Like, Zebo is one of those guys that he'll laugh with you, clown, bump, and then if you want to go there, that's going to be one of the deals you didn't want to go. That's a road you didn't want to travel down.
He's a tough guy.
Yes. And those tough guys that you just named will say he's a tough guy. And that's how you know. You ask the tough guys about who's the tough guys.
I got you.
And those guys will say, that guy, this guy. But, it's some young guys coming around. This kid, Bobby Portis, is a tough kid out in Chicago. He's a scrapper.
He proved his. He
got
put
to
in
the fight with the
putting
kid.
that work.
Trevor Ariza quietly is a scrapper.
Okay.
He grew up here in L.A. He grew up rough. He grew up in a different generation, though. Right. It's like he was on the...
Yeah, he's on the cusp. Yeah, he's a little older.
What I mean? Like, but out of the young guys right now... Patrick Beverly got some goon in him. That's my man. It's my man. Anytime you get a kid from Chicago, you probably going to have a little bit of that in them. Like, that's one thing about Chicago kids. Like, Tony Allen, Quentin Richardson, D. Wade, Patrick Beverly, those dudes will fight you. Like, they will look for a reason to get into a fight with you. Like,
I mean, I don't understand. Like, Patrick Beverly, as far as I'm concerned, like, if I'm going against Lonzo Ball, I'm just like, like, Patrick Beverly's like a nightmare. Like, first game.
He's going to make you miserable. And he's going to... But one thing he understands is that's part of his talent.
Right.
Is the goon. He may not be able to out-dribble you or outrun you or outshoot you, but he can out-goon you.
Right.
And he knows if he gets to you, you're done. That talent don't mean anything.
Right.
But that's how he grew up. I'm telling you, those Chicago kids are different. But Juwan Howard, the most clean-cut, nicest dude. I've never seen him without a tight fade. I've never seen his tie not tied right. Most professional human being you ever. Lance Stevenson said LeBron was choking. Juwan Howard walked over to their bench pregame the next game looking for him, trying to chase him down, looked for him in the locker room, everything. Like, they wired different in Chicago.
Juwan he's old school. Juwan's like 75 years old too, right?
He could still play if he wanted to, but I think they got an age. They got a certain number of years you can't play no more.
It's over, man.
They're like, dude, you can't play any more basketball in the NBA. Like, you've reached your
done.
limit.
Because he's one of the first dudes with the tat. Like, he came with the tat when he's with the Fab Five. Like, he had the tat. Like, his cousin did it. All right, my last question. Here we are in March. and are you allowed to answer this? If not, tell me. Based on everything we know, what's your prediction? Who's winning the NBA championship and why? What are going to be the final 4 teams? The 2 in the East, 2 in the West, and then what do you got for me? Barring injury, and I don't want anyone to get injured.
Golden State, Houston. That's the easy call. I think the East is the tougher call. I do think Cleveland's going to eventually get in there into that Final 4. The question is, will it be Boston or Toronto? And that's where I know you say barring injury, but that's where I think if either one of those teams are tweaked at all, that's the difference in one of those teams getting into that 4. Now, if Houston gets home court, Houston can beat Golden State. If they don't get home court, I don't think they can beat them. That's where I think Houston can get out of the West. In the East, I think that both of those other teams, Boston or Toronto, have to play out of their mind to beat Cleveland in a 7-game series.
I agree.
I just think they have to play perfect basketball to come out of that. To beat him 4 times is tough. That's tough, even when you have home court.
I don't care what you have.
He's going to come take one game on your court just because that's who he is. And now it's like, okay, the series is evened up. Who's going to win more games? I just don't know if those teams can do it. Even though we've seen Cleveland go through this roller coaster, I just feel like in a 7-game series, man, it's hard. Well, he's been in the finals how many years in a row?
17, 18,
right?
19,
So it's like, come on. Like, no one's done it yet.
It's like Brady. It's like you know, until proven differently.
I'm just going with that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it because as much as I like the Raptors and they're coming in, DeMar and those guys. I just don't see it happening.
And like privately, favorite coach in the league is Dwayne Casey. I just love his passion for the game. I just love how he's built that team. They play like he acts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell that team exemplifies their coach. And I love his story. I love what he's had to go through. He's went up, down. He's been, kicked out. And then he became a champion. And then he's really made the most of his opportunity. And so I root for him, but I don't know. Like, I'm like you. It's like Till proven different.
I go with Cleveland. As much as I can't stand it, I'm going with Cleveland.
I love my guy. And
I got you.
But I don't even, it doesn't matter
You're not
as
as emotionally involved like a fan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not going to matter to me as much. Like, even like, I root for Brad Stevens. Like, I think Brad Stevens is a out of the box, like, innovative.
You think he dreams basketball? I think he wakes up in 3-man weaves.
I guarantee you, if you ever got a chance to ask him if he dreams basketball, he would say absolutely.
He's doing layup lines by himself. Yeah, he's like clapping, like he's like full on, like, doing Hubie Brown, like full court press. His wife's like, my man, like you can't, you're waking, you're scaring people.
Like, get to bed.
Yeah.
Right.
He's doing suicide drills and shit. He's like in the kitchen.
He's the best too. I got a chance to spend time with him this summer. And just the most humble, normal guy that you've ever been around. But what's floating around in that dome is pure genius.
Who's Rookie of the Year? Donovan Mitchell's my guy. He's from New York. Obviously, Ben Simmons is a red shirt. He's sick. Is there a shot that my guy...
He does have a shot.
And does he remind you of D. Wade?
Yes, he reminds me of D. Wade, but he shoots better at this age. He's a little shorter. If he can develop a post game, that will be the difference in terms. Because D. Wade is the best, I would say 6'4" and under. He says 6'5", but 6'4" and under guy in the post that this league has probably ever seen.
Back to the basket,
Back to the basket. Face up, right in that little tight Karl Malone area, right off the block, on the post. You're just not going to have many guys that you can pull out of the history books at that size that you could tell me that was a better post-up player than him. And that's going to be, if can Donovan develop that, because he's got all of that other stuff, the burst, the explosion, he'll dunk on you.
The Euro step, like he's got
all of that. Like, he is so fun to watch. But I think what's going to be the difference in the voting is, can they get in the playoffs?
Utah.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Can they creep in that playoff? But it's jumbled up, man. That whole... from 4 down in the West is scary jumbled up. And so it's just a matter of luck and injuries and, getting the right breaks and strength of schedule and all of that kind of stuff. But then, you got Ben Simmons, who... He's
sick.
I just like watching the kid play.
And homeboy is tall.
He's big like LeBron.
He's like 6'10", right?
Oh, yeah. He's a big boy. I mean, we played him in the preseason, and in my interview, I said... That's special. When you could just see it, like, it doesn't take long to see a guy move to go, that's a special movement. Like, he's so fluid and natural at it, and like left and right hand, and he's throwing these passes. And how old is he? 20?
Yeah, I mean, it's
with something like that. He's a baby, man. Like, but I think Philly's gonna get in that playoff,
right?
And I think that's what's gonna be the difference. But look, you talking about splitting hairs, man. Those are two beasts.
Now, I said it was gonna be my final question. When you say someone like Donovan, who is a hard worker, whether or not he can learn post moves or develop post moves, when you're a pro basketball player with the skill of a Donovan Mitchell or one of these young, brewing rookies, is it a matter of putting the time in to learn it, or can anybody learn post moves?
Not anybody to a high level. Some people just have better feel than others, but it's something Spo used to always say to me that he noticed, like when I would work out with D Wade or LeBron or Chris, is that greatness picks up things quickly and can apply it. And that's the difference between when you see a guy where you go, man, why can't this guy get it? He can't apply it. Great players can, like D Wade would do stuff like this. We work on something and shoot around that day. Right after shoot around, we do something in the post. Maybe like 8 to 10 times. He'd do it in the game that night and do it perfectly.
Like just a drop step or something?
I'll tell you a great story. One day we were messing around on one end of the floor, and me, D Wade, and LeBron just said, man, I want to start working on my running hook. It's Magic Johnson. So we started doing it. Knee up, Pat came into it because, Pat coached all those guys. Yeah, you got to get your knee up and you got to bring it over here. And so LeBron just starts doing it, probably shoots, I would say he probably shot about 10 to 15 of them. He made 3 that night in the game. And no, that's what I'm saying. Like, average players don't do that. Just the good players don't do that. They got to work on it like over and over and over. But the great ones can visualize it. It immediately, the synapse happens. As soon as they do it a couple times, they've built that synapse, and it's like, I got it.
I got you.
And it's like they can advance it and apply it so fast. It really separates. You could see the difference. Like Ray Allen was like that as a shooter. It was just like he would do drills, and it would make some of our guys look like they never ever shot a basketball and then he would do it, and it was just he did it, and it was nothing. But that's the difference between a great shooter who's put himself through all kind of stuff and good shooters.
I got you.
But that's the good part about being around great players. You got to see that kind of stuff.
I love it. All right, Coach, listen. You didn't rook me, okay? You came with the championship pedigree. David Fizdale, the coach, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, man.
This is awesome, man. You kidding me? I'm such a big fan.
I love
Can
this.
I ask you a question before we go?
Go ahead.
Do you have a number of movies that you've acted in? Because I was going through your catalog, just so you know. I collect data.
Okay, right.
Okay, so I was checking out your career.
I'm not a number guy.
I'm not a numbers guy, but I was just checking out how many projects you've been a part of, bro.
A bunch. A bunch of movies, bunch of TV shows, and some are good, some are not good. And one thing I've learned, because it was from being the sideline reporter of the big three, and you always hear in different sports, in all the sports, culture of winning. When you're on a set, whether it's a show or a movie, that culture of winning and that culture, I understand it now. I think it was Chauncey who explained it to me. It's not culture of winning. In sports, you say that it's just a culture of like everybody's here for the same purpose.
Yes.
And everybody could be here for the same purpose, and you still might not win.
But at least you feel a lot better going home at night, knowing that you wasn't fighting against yourself in that situation.
Exactly.
That's what culture is. It's like everybody's going to pull their weight in this deal and respect each other the right way, and we're going to get this thing done in a way. And if we fall short, it's not going to be because we weren't all in.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's the same thing with movies. So I've done a bunch of stuff. I still love it, and I get off on it. But it's like, I'm sure the business of basketball is probably you love the basketball, the business of basketball, the business of, like, I love action and cut. In between action and cut, that's the magic. All the other, I don't need any of it. You know what I mean? And you're like, this is it's because it should be called business show.
That's why I'm unemployed.
Right. For the time being. All right, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, my man.
What to do?
All right, what can I say? I told you it was going to be good. I told you it was going to be good. See, I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. We do what we do. Have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Coach Fizdale, thank you so much for rocking with me. I appreciate it. I put him on the spot. You heard me, G. I said, yo, will you promise to come back for part 2 and part 3?
Yeah, he's with it.
Because I could just talk to this guy about basketball for hours. Listen, I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. We came, we saw, we conquered. All right? Pardon my takeover. G. Monetti, Michael Rapaport, the bad boys of podcasting, the Bill Lambier of podcasting, the Aaron Pryor of podcasting, Miles Jordan, the Dust Brothers. Take us out of here with something real funky. Coach Fizz, thank you for rocking with us.
Yes.
Yo, we'll see you when we see you. We out.
Peace.
I really don't know what to do.